Perspectives is an audience interactive program. You can phone in or send a text message to contribute on the subject matter we are discussing. The number through which you can reach us is 08143359292. The number once again is 08143359292. That line will be opened at 10 o'clock for you to phone in and make your contributions on the subject matter. You can also send us a text message or a WhatsApp chat on 09126 404. The line for text messages and WhatsApp chats once again is 09126 404. If you are sending a message, remember to include your full name and the location you are sending the message from, so we may take your contribution on the program. Let's also inform you that the program is streaming live on all our social media platforms, including Facebook. Kindly search out the page and follow the live stream conversation. Comrade Umaja, welcome to Perspectives once again.
Thank you.
Let's begin the program. What are the demands of the organized labor, especially in the light of the current 14-day ultimatum given to the federal government?
Yeah, good morning once again. And I use this opportunity to greet all our listeners and then say good morning. Like you are aware, before this subsidy removal, when the economic hardship on the citizens became very high. And in light of that, the organized labor protested and issued an ultimatum that they will down tool, as in embarking on industrial strike. In light of that, the federal government called the attention of the organized labor and called them to a round table where an agreement was reached. And part of the agreement was to see how they could cushion the effect of the economic crisis on the Nigerian citizens. At the end of the day, I will not be mentioning all the items, but at least you will recall that it was agreed that there will be a wage award that will be paid to workers in Nigeria, which is 30,000 naira wage award that will be paid within a period of 6 months. The essence of this wage award is to cushion the effect of the hardship within these 6 months, where they believe that before the end of the 6 months, there will be a new minimum wage agreement that will be reached between the organized labor and the federal government. You will recall that since this agreement was entered into between organized labor and federal government, up to this moment, some parastatals or core ministries have started enjoying, but it's haphazard. Some have gotten 1-2 months, others are not being paid at all, and nobody is telling anybody what actually happened. Secondly, there were issues of how to cushion the issue of transportations, where they discussed about CNG buses that will alternative to petroleum. The agreement that was entered into between organized labor and federal government, as we speak to you, that has not been done. And the issue of trying to roll out the refineries that is being built by Dangote, which they promised that before the end of the year it will start rolling, and a committee was actually set up that will monitor the process of trying to kickstart the production properly, which organized laborers are part of the committee. As I speak to you, I don't think that has been done. Then there was an issue of a national problem with the National Union of Road Transport Workers. You recall that the national leadership of National Union of Road Transport Workers, the president of the association was driven away using government agencies like Nigerian Police and others. And they are affiliate of Nigerian Labour Congress. It was also part of the agreement between organized labor and federal government that you should respect the ILO convention standards, that whatever that has to do with the organized labor, government is not supposed to interfere in the leadership of organized labor. That agreement was also reached between organized labor and federal government that, okay, henceforth, we will remove our hand. We will now set up a machinery where the necessary thing has to be done at the level of organized labor. And as we speak to you, that agreement also was not respected. And coupled with other issues that have not been actually addressed by the federal government as they have promised in the agreement. And Labour have kept their part of the agreement that, okay, we will not down too, we will not protest. We will not say anything even if we are dying, no matter what happens, since there is an agreement between me and you that if this and this is done, definitely there will be a kind of reduction in the economic crisis in this country. But as we speak to you, nothing seems to be happening. Everybody will don't know you enter an agreement and you don't even know what is happening again. So these are the major factors that necessitate the action by the organized labor by issuing this 14 days ultimatum. And I also want to let you know that you are aware that there is a present committee between the federal government and organized labor and even the private sectors to negotiate the minimum wage. So if me and you have an earlier agreement and you have not respected the agreement and you are going into another agreement, what kind of arrangement is that? I think those are some of the issues that actually prompt the organized labor in taking this critical decision at this point in time.
Okay, let's isolate some of these issues and speak to them. For instance, the wage award of 35,000 naira, which you mentioned, we are aware that part of the demands and resolutions reached between the organized labor and the federal government at that time was that the government should urge state governments through the National Economic Council and Governors Forum to implement the award, 35,000 naira wage award for workers in their various states. How has this been done here in Benue State, where you are the state chairman of Joint Public Service Negotiating Councils 1, 2, and 3?
Yes, thank you very much for that question. Here in Benue, it has not been done. And the reason is that you will recall that what happened at the national level, even some of us have actually queried and have questioned the way and manner the agreement was actually reached, because a wage award is not a minimum wage. I think it's something that needed to be done urgently to cushion what is about to happen to the public. So we expected that since the economic and governors forums were part of that agreement, what they should have done is just to say, states should go and implement. But you will recall that after that agreement between organized labor and federal government, majority of states begin to make categorical statements, separate statements. Some started offering 10,000, some offered 20,000, depending on what they have agreed with either the organized labor in the state. And you are aware that this particular negotiation is between organized labor, which is the Nigerian Labour Congress, and the Trade Union Congress. The same thing is stepped down at the level of state, that when you get there, we are expected that they should have implemented this wage award. But as I speak to you, nothing have really happened. And no workers in Benue State have really enjoyed the wage award as being agreed by the national leadership of organized labor and the federal government.
Okay, in Benue, where you are, have you tried to engage with the state government? Have they given you reasons why this is not implemented, even though it was an agreement reached between the organized labor, as well as the Nigerian Governors Forum being involved? What have the government, what has been the position of government? Have you engaged with them from your end as members of the organized labor, and what is their explanation?
Yes, at the level of organized labor in the state, we have written formally, because it's a correspondence. We have written formally to the government through the office of the head of service, drawing their attentions to this development, because as it is, we are supposed to be called so that we'll sit on the round table to see how this will be implemented, because these have a lifespan. The wage award is something that if it is not implemented within the period of 6 months, you may stand to lose whatever that have been given to you. So what? Up to now, we are yet to receive an invitation by the government on this particular issue.
And you have not pressed for the demand going forward?
Yes, like I told you, it's a directive by the national leadership of the organized labor, which we have made consultations with the national leadership. And we are still in consultation, trying to talk to them to see how we could engage them to see how we can fashion these things out.
Okay, let's go back to the issue of CNG buses. The federal government did at that agreement agreed that 100 billion was going to be voted for provision of CNG powered buses for mass transit in Nigeria. And also part of the palliatives package that were given to state governments. Some actually said we converted for mass transit means for people. What has been the level of implementation at the level of federal government concerning the CNG buses or as well as the state government, for instance, in Benue, where we are?
Well, let us be specific. Are you talking about the CNG buses that will be part of the palliative that will cushion the effect of transportations in the public, or you are talking about provisions of vehicles at the state level or at the national level?
These were part of the palliatives package in that agreement roped together.
Yeah.
Is it not?
Okay, yes, it is. Okay, now, to narrow it down, to the best of my knowledge, it may stand to be corrected. I want to believe that the CNG buses agreement that was reached between organized labor and the federal government have not been properly implemented by the federal government. But the issue of, like, for instance, in the state, I think I must give kudos to the present administrations in terms of transportation provisions of subsidy in transport sector. For instance, the provision of 100 number buses that were provided for Benue links, where it has also reduced the cost of transportation, which is also a benchmark for other transport companies in the state, is a kudos to the Benue state government in terms of the palliatives on the side of provision of transport to the public. But as for the CNG buses, up till now, nothing has been done.
Okay, and has any explanation been given on the side of government as to why this is not done?
No, everybody is in limbo. I have no concrete explanation from the side of the government as what happened to the CNG buses.
All right. Also, the issue of refineries, which you earlier pointed out, as part of measures, the organized labor, together with government, joint with visitation, were to make visitations to refineries to ascertain their level of rehabilitation and maybe commencement of production, as the government did assure. Has this been done, and to what extent is the organized labor involved, to your knowledge?
To the best of my knowledge, the machinery of government, as in those who are charged with the responsibility of discharging duties, as in how to run a program, it's not the duty of the organized labor to see how that will happen. Though they were part of the committee that were supposed to supervise or carry out a kind of studies as in how the refineries will actually take place. But the truth is this: if up till now, we are in February 2024, this agreement, based on the agreement reached between organized labor and the federal government, was that they will begin to roll, they will begin to sell products from the refineries built by the, whether it's partner with Dangote refinery or whatever. But up to now, since we have not seen that, that shows that that's purpose of sincerity on the side of government, or the commitment towards the agreement was not actually implemented. And that is why we felt that nothing, as per my level, I will not speak exactly what actually transpired, because that is engagement between the national body of the organized labor and the federal government. But we are aware that the terms and conditions of the agreement was that before the end of the year, they will begin to sell the product to the masses. Since we have not seen that, that shows that they have failed in their own part of the agreement.
And what has been the explanation given to labor with regards to this?
I must be sincere to you that before this decision was taken, as in to embark on this 14 days industrial action, labor on their side have made frantic efforts on several occasions to see how they could engage federal government on issues. Let me be frank to you. What we witness in Nigeria presently is that once there is time for strike, or maybe they say they are going to protest, government will release all the arsenals, their machineries out, and they will be all out there to say, oh, no, we are going to do this, let's stop this, definitely nothing will happen, let's see what we can do. They will give you that commitment at that particular time. But as soon as the issue of protest or whatever you want to do to demand for whatever you want, it is over, you find it difficult to reach out to them. Like we have been telling you, you cannot just go and budge into the offices. It's through correspondence. It's through writing of memo or whatever. So if you write to them and they don't reply you, there's nothing you can do, because you are not working in that office. They have one other excuses or the other they give. So I am telling you that based on what the labor have discovered, that sincerity of purpose on the political class is not there. You enter an agreement with people, and this thing we're talking about is not in isolation. It's something that they're also witnessing. Even the rate of crime being carried out in the society is that some of them are attributed to poverty, to the way people have just been left. You don't even know the next thing to do in life. So if actually the political class are sincere, they should also look at that. What we are discussing is about how to survive first. The survival of the citizen is what we are discussing. We're not even talking about how to, some majority of the workers could not even pay their school fees of their children if you have up a family of 2 or 3. So just to survive this period before they begin to discuss the real issues as in how to deal with these present inflations. But on their side, because they are floating about with government resources or whatever, they don't even know whether people are suffering at the grassroots or what people are facing. So that is the fact about this whole thing. It is until they begin to see that, oh, people say they want to demonstrate or they want to strike, or that is when they'll come out. If not, time without number, a letter has been written reminding the national leadership, the federal government, drawing their attentions concerning this agreement that has been entered between them and the federal government. But they have not received any positive response from the side of the government.
Okay, for instance, when the organized labor issued this strike, 14 days ultimatum for strike, the federal government, through the Minister of State on Labor, came out to say the organized labor is not being sincere, that part of these demands have been met. To your knowledge, are there some of these demands in the reach between the organized labor and the federal government that you can isolate to speak to in sincerity that they have been met? For instance, we are aware that the federal government has already inaugurated a committee a tripartite committee on a new national minimum wage. Is this part of the demands, and has it been met to your satisfaction from the part of organized labor?
Well, if the federal government says they have met part of the agreement that was actually entered between organized labor and the federal government, then they should come out categorically and make a categorical statement on the areas where they have met with the demands. One, the tripartite committee for the review of minimum wage is a issue of law, that minimum wage must be reviewed at every 5 years. And you know that the last minimum wage was in 2019. So as at 2024, we have already exhausted the 5 years that is a condition for you to review the minimum wage outside this economic crisis that we have just faced of recent time. So though the tripartite committee or the committee to review minimum wage was part of the committee, is minute. It's not a significant factor that was actually put on board that they've agreed on. So if you have set up a committee to review the minimum wage, fine. That is okay. It's kudos to the federal government by responding to their earlier promises that though they are going to set up a committee and they'll go, yes, we give them kudos to that. But apart from the minimum wage committee that have been set up, which of the other agreement that have been reached between organized labor, like I have itemized, that they have actually met? Is it the issue of the wage award that have they paid? Have they paid to all federal workers? Let us even leave the issue of the states, where the governors, the individual states, and maybe the representative of the organized labor have to go and negotiate. Is the federal government telling us that they are sincere, and since they entered into that agreement, they've been up to date in payment of the wage award that was agreed by the federal government and the labor? One. Two, the issue of industrial crisis in the National Union of Road Transport Workers at the federal level, and the Road Transport Owners Association in Lagos State, where they have a problem with the Trade Union Congress. That was part of the major reasons that the organized labor also itemized in the course of embarking on strike then. Have they also resolved the issue? They have not said anything concerning that issue, and that issue has still been lingering. Is it I just mentioned the issue of the CNG buses and other issues concerning the refineries, which they said they set up a committee quite okay, that government will be part of the people that will go and make sure carry out a kind of survey or how do you look at the assessment, assess what is on ground. of these things have actually been met, to the best of my knowledge. So, if they say they have met some of the agreement, I don't know the one. Is it the composition of the committee for review of minimum wage that they say they have met the agreement reached between them? An agreement that is between me and you is not supposed to be haphazard. If we enter into an agreement and we have a lifespan or a period, you should go ahead and then implement yours.
Okay. Dear listener, in case you are just tuning in, you are listening to Perspectives on iGate Radio 95.5 Star FM, Makudi. We are discussing the 14 days nationwide strike notice given to the federal government by the organized labor. Leading us to the discussion here in the studio is the Benue State Chairman, Joint Public Service Negotiating Councils 1, 2, and 3, Comrade Aloysius Umaja, who is here sharing his thoughts with us, and you too can be a part of the program. Earlier on, we called out the numbers. Let's remind you of the lines once again. The number for text messages and WhatsApp is already activated. That line is 09126 999 404. The line once again is 09126 999 404. That line is already open for you to make your contributions on the subject we are focusing on through text message or WhatsApp. Kindly remember to include your full name and the location you are sending your message from, so we may take your contribution. Let's also inform you that the program is streaming live on all our social media platforms, including Facebook. Kindly search out iGate Radio on Facebook and follow the live stream conversation. You may drop your comments on that link if they are related to the subject matter we are focusing on. We may take it as your contribution on the program. Let's also inform you that the line for calls, which will be opened at 10 o'clock, is 091 433 59292. The line for calls, once again, is 081 433 59292. That line will be opened at 10 o'clock for you to phone in and make your contributions on the subject matter we are discussing. Comrade Umaja, let me come back to you. The issue of the tripartite committee on a new national minimum wage. Are you satisfied from the point of view of a stakeholder in the organized level? Are you satisfied with its composition, given that it is comprised of representatives of the federal government, the state government, the organized labor, and the private sector? Are you satisfied with the membership of it as drawn? And to what extent are you looking forward that they will actually work comprehensively to recommend a new national minimum wage that will be in tandem with the current economic realities Nigerian workers and Nigerians in general are facing?
All right, thank you, Nathaniel. Looking at the composition of the tripartite committee, to some large extent, I think I am satisfied with the composition, in the sense that you discover that 12 of the committee members are drawn from the organized labor. That is 6 from Nigeria Labour Congress and 6 from the Trade Union Congress. And they also have 6 members representing the 6 geopolitical zones, which will represent the governors forum in that committee, because, for instance, the one from North Central is being represented by the governor of Niger State, who also have to bring out the challenges or make a very useful input on behalf of the governors. Then the private sectors also are also captured in this committee. Yes, I quite agree with the composition so far, because we believe that if the genuinity or purpose is administered in this committee, at least we'll have a positive outcome of this negotiation, because some of us at our level at the state, we have sent memo to the national leadership of Congress and trying to let them understand some of the challenges we are facing at the level of state. For instance, you are aware that majority of the minimum wage that have been approved by federal government and organized labor in recent times, at the level of state, there have been a lot of issues in terms of implementations and actually to kickstart with that. So we are saying that it will be proper now that you have a full representative of the governors forum in that committee, because majority of the complaint we've had from the governors is that at the end of the day, they will come back and also tell you that what they have from the IGR and from the federation account will not be able to execute this kind of agreement that have been entered into between organized labor and the federal government. So if this factor that I have just identified is what is actually the problem of the governors, they should make it known to the committee that will be meeting in Abuja at the federal government, so that they will be able to have a concrete agreement, so that at the end of the day, the issue of coming back to the state will be the implementation procedures, the process of implementing whatever agreement have been. If there should be a graduations or benchmark, well, if they have a superior argument, as in why this should be like this or why this should be like this, because all of us enter to the same market. And I also want to tell you whether the cost of living, for instance, Benue State in Makurdi now, is higher than Abuja. I wouldn't even know, because I don't think that the cost of living in Abuja is even higher than Benue now. No. Things are very, very hard for almost everybody in the country. So the situation of where who went to the same school, passed through the same system, you are employed, maybe you will find yourself at the level of state, somebody at the federal government, we should try as much as possible to see how we can actually make this thing a lifetime, something that people will actually have the dividends of whatever that have been agreed by these parties. That is my take.
If you were to be a member of that committee,
Yes.
or even now that you are not, I suppose you're not, or
I'm
are
not.
you?
I am
okay.
not.
But if you were to be a member of that committee or as a stakeholder
Yes.
in the organized labor that you are,
Yeah.
given the current economic realities, what would be your recommendation for a suitable new national minimum wage that would satisfy the Nigerian worker and, of course, Nigerians in general?
Okay. If you look at what is obtainable in the country presently, before the composition of this tripartite committee, the organized labor actually demanded for 200,000 minimum wage to be paid by the government to workers, to the public workers. And after that demand, before the so-called agreement that the federal government refused to honor now, we have a very high rate of inflation again that have escalated up to about 100%. As at then, dollars exchange was about 750 naira per dollar. But now dollar exchange is about 1,500 naira. It's not less than that. So if labor feels that we are demanding for 200,000 naira minimum wages at that time, and you have an inflation of up to about 100%, it means you should be thinking about 100% increment of that 200, which should be about 400,000 naira. If that is the only way that the public sectors will be addressed in such a way that they could cushion the economic crisis on their side. So I am looking at it, but though the amount may sound so bogus and very big, but we still have a lot to do at the level of trying to streamline what will actually curtail the level of inflation. Because if it continues like this and you begin to pay 1 million naira as a minimum wage to workers, at the end of the day, the money becomes useless, because it will not be able to, the purchasing power is no longer there, and you'll not be able to use it judiciously. So we are also trying to look at the federal government on their side should be sincere, try to draw out a policy. They have experts, they have people who will advise them properly, because if you look at this level of inflation, it is because of the advice they are taking from IMF that they should have to go and devalue naira and whatever. These are some of the major reasons why the naira exchange and whatever has skyrocketed. So if they begin to look at other factors, as in try to see how they promote locally made something, try how to promote issue of export instead of importing the majority of things we have. At least for now, I want to believe that we are supposed to be having something positively at the side of our product. We stopped import of rice for a very long time. We started rice productions a very long time. But up till now, I am surprised that rice too has gone up to the stage that you can no longer afford it too. So these are some of the factors that are also a very that is actually pricking our mind, that is disturbing us. So the federal government, who are policy makers, who come out with policies and say how they could address the issue of what is happening to their citizens, should be able to see, because if as a leader you sit up and on the screen you see your people. The other day I was watching a program in Lagos. They parked a truck and they were throwing tubers of yam to people. See the way people were rushing just to pick a tuber of yam to go and eat. So these are some of the issues that actually should be addressed at the level of the government and the political class.
When you mentioned the naira being devalued earlier last week, in the course of last week, the central bank governor Yemi Kadeso and other members of the economic team meeting with the Senate Committee on Finance, the central bank in particular was quoted as saying Nigerians should, reduce their penchant for the consumption of foreign goods, foreign-made products. This way, the naira could be stabilized and the demand for dollar would be reduced too. Do you subscribe to this thought that if this is done, it will go a long way in stabilizing maybe the consumption of our local products and also strengthen the value of naira and reduce the cost of inflation? The rise in inflation.
Even though I am not an economist by profession, but as a layman, even a common layman in the village will understand that when you patronize your locally made product, at least to a large extent, you're on an advantage because you don't need to go and have an exchange of foreign currencies before you purchase whatever you want to purchase. So I agree with the policies that have been rolled out by the federal government. But the question is this. They may have a beautiful policies and programs. What about implementation? Are they going to implement it? Because this is not the first time we are hearing experts coming out to make this kind of projections or tell you this is what you are supposed to do. But at the end of the day, what of the implementation? This is the problem we had with the government for the number of years, a very long time. They will come out with a beautiful programs, policies, but they don't implement. Nobody monitored. There's nobody to say, oh, this thing that we have discussed, what do we do about it? Nothing like that. And also cost of governance. So these are some of the factors that are actually the problem. So I subscribe to the CBN that's who came out with that. Yes, a wonderful program, a wonderful suggestions or policies as whatever name you want to give to it. But my problem is that do they have the machinery? Even if they have the machinery, have they actually developed this way to implement these policies and programs that they have outlined to Nigerians?
Okay, let's go back to other evolving issues in line with inflation, as you pointed out. For instance, the cost of living, which many Nigerians, of recent, we have seen protests in some states are protesting against the high cost of living. And the President Tinubu, Bola Tinubu, last week ordered the immediate release of 102,000 metric tons of various grains. To what extent will this address the rising food inflation?
Well, if you ask me, I will tell you that, yes, maybe it's a temporary approach of trying to control the cost of living or hardship on the citizenry. But that will not go to anywhere. It has not solved the problem. The problem of Nigeria now is not, if you like, go and carry 100 trucks, thousands of trucks of grains and be given to each of the state every day. It will still not sustain us because the problem have not cost food become very high in the market as a result of insecurity. Now, for instance, Benue State, which is an agrarian state, that majority of our people are farmers. You could barely go to farm these days. The Fulani herdsmen would not even allow you to go to the farm and then go and cultivate.
Comrade Omaja, yeah. Anybody can be a herdsman, including anybody at all.
Okay, well, the herdsmen. Okay, yes. Let me redress. I use it. So yes. The herdsmen will not allow the farmers to actually go and cultivate because they use their cattle to come and eat up the crops. So if you are addressing by supplying trailers of grains and all that to people who are protesting because they could barely feed, what is happening in the society now is not how to not shelter, how to get a vehicle, is how to survive. So if you have provided grains or whatever, yes, it will have immediate effect on the people. Maybe immediately you take care of that, but how many of these people will access this product that you're even giving out? You know the population of Nigeria, over 200 billion Nigerians. So when you divide whatever you are providing for these people, it won't go anywhere. So we should go back to the drawing board because the problem we have in the society is that when you want to go into leadership, you are interested in trying to go and lead. You are not interested in finding out what actually are the problems of these people that you want to go and lead. So if you have a government that is on board and you have identified the problem of Nigerians, then you'll be able to address, because we're endowed with a lot of natural resources in Nigeria. If properly managed, harnessed by sincere people, we won't be having this crisis. So the provision of these grains or whatever to the people, to me, it makes no sense, because if I eat today and I'm okay, next week, what will be my fate? Will I still go and meet the person to go and make those provisions? And even whatever you earn as a salary, even as a public servant, those who are not working, maybe you have dependents who are depending on the little you are earning. For instance, I don't know whether it's true. Somebody was telling me yesterday that a bag of rice goes for about 70,000 naira or something like that, which is just like a salary of somebody who is a fresh graduate that was employed at the level of state. So if you get a salary now, you use it to buy a bag of rice. What about other food items? What about clothing? What about health bills for health, school? So where are we heading to? So these are some of the challenges that is actually a major problem that needed to be addressed by the political class. The truth is this: we all agreed that yes, it's not easy getting to that place, because you have beautiful programs that, yes, if I come there, but let us be sincere. When you get to a position and you are leading people, you see other people crying, dying. Yes, you cannot. I know you are not going to be equal. Not that whatever you are doing, they should be doing the same thing with you, but you should also understand that the same people that you are leading also needed to, they have the right to survive. They have that right to survive. So these are some of the challenges that for a very long time now, what I've discovered is that we should have a rethink, especially at the level of the political class. If you really want to go and govern, go there with all serious of sincerity. Go there and know that, yes, you are going to serve. You are going to serve people, not to come and lead people, not to come and carry convoy. Imagine somebody going from one place where you carry up to 15, 20 assorted cars. They fuel all the cars, they carry everybody. And somebody is there, cannot even have money to pick a bike to walk. So it becomes, honestly, I don't understand what's up. So until we change our attitude towards governance, I don't think we'll still have a headway.
As it stands, Comrade Umaja,
yes,
are you indicting the leaders of not showing sincerity or political will to address the issues of the organized labor, especially in the light of current economic realities?
Emphatically, I am saying that the political class are not sincere at all. They are not sincere in discharging of majority of their duties, programs, and policies that they ought to have protected. They are not sincere. Because if you look at certain scenario now, somebody comes to an office, either be it a president or a governor, you have a lot of aides that don't even have offices. You have people who don't have a prescribed duty they do. They don't have anywhere to operate from. If they use that office just to settle some of the people that have helped them during the political campaign or whatever. And you have somebody who is working, who has a family of about 4 or 5 children. And you know that we from the African society, you have us other dependents, your in-laws, if you are married. Sometimes your in-laws too becomes your dependents. Look at what you are paying to these people. Can this thing really take care of feeding alone, to be sincere on our side? So we felt that if they have not addressed the issue of inflation, then they should be ready to give bogus amount of money to people who are working to be able to survive. When you have this political class, the majority of their children are not in this country. And you see the exchange rate of dollars to whatever, if I tell you how much they pay in training their children abroad or whatever, it's alarming. So we are saying that majority, not all of them anyway. I know that we still have a very distinctive some politicians now. We have seen some signs, but I know that majority of them, let me just up to 90% or majority are not sincere. In fact, they will prefer to come and make you hungry, become you very poor, so that in the next 4 years, when they come again, you have no choice, and whatever they give to you, you just run after them. That is just their aim. So I am saying without fear of favor that the political class are not being sincere to the people they ought to be governing.
Anyway, as we go along, we'll interrogate more on that. We wish the political class were also here to clear their air, to state the houses here they are. But anyway, that's your opinion. Well, we hope if they seek a right of reply, we can always avail the political class to also clear there. Dear listener, we are still listening to Perspectives on iGate Radio 95.5 Star FM, Makudi. We are discussing the 14-day nationwide strike notice issued by the organized labor to the federal government. And you too can contribute by calling us on 081-433-59292. Once you connect with us, tell us your name and where you're calling from. Then go ahead and make your submission very brief. No uncomplimentary language. Keep it civil and decent. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. How is that getting?
Very well. I hope you're fine too.
I'm fine also.
That's good.
My name is Ondachi Gabriel from Ojakpa, Madoka.
Welcome to the program, Ondachi Gabriel.
Thank you. My sincere greetings and in regards to the honorable, it's honorable, not just a comrade again. To comrade, a comrade there.
Okay, if he accepts the honorable, I think he is a comrade.
I'm a comrade, my brother. Just leave it that one. I'm very comfortable with the comrade.
Let's leave it to that your call.
Okay.
Because those who are saying they are honorable are not even honorable. Yes. Like our point that you brought this morning to the air. In fact, it is even too late now for Labour to give government another 2, 4, or 5 days to go on strike. We are expecting all these things. There is one thing that I want to let the Labour know. If a father is set for a journey and the child is crying that he follow that the father will pet him that when he is coming back to give him something, but when the father returns in the evening, nothing from his hand into the child. Many times the child will become wise and say the father is deceiving him. For that, the federal government has failed everything with the Labour. Everybody knows in the country here that the federal government has failed. So what we want the Labour to do this time, let them, if they are going on this strike, let them not to look back again. Everybody will join, even the transporters. They block everything on the road so that they know that they will become hungry, of course, because they say a hungry man is an angry man. We are all angry now. So we want to join the Labour. I'm a pensioner. And if I cannot go out to help the Labour to join this, I will ask my child to represent me where they are going to meet. So I want the Labour this time not to go back again or accept any brown envelope from anybody among the politicians so that they will know that something is happening. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, Ondachi Gabriel, for your contribution. That Labour should not look back if they go on strike this time. Anyway, we should seek answers to that, because there are also concerns that such strike, when they are embarked upon, it ends up causing even more untold hardship for Nigerians.
Yeah.
Maybe before you speak to that, let's engage with more people before.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Welcome to the program, sir.
Yes, my name is Ezra Lupe Dani. I'm calling from Modern Market area.
Thank you, Ezra Lupe.
Yes, I think I want to recommend the labor union for what they are doing, but I would advise them to find other means to express and negotiate with their employers instead of suffering the Nigerians. This issue of governance, they are also part of it, because either by their inaction or by their actions, they are part of some of these things that are going on. So they should indulge in other means instead of going on strike. They are public officers, and we, the public, are the ones that are going to suffer. If they know very well that it's the Ministry of Labor that is responsible for what is their demand, they should go after him. They shouldn't just generalize the public and maybe decide to punish the public by going on strike. I don't know whether it is because of our lazy nature that we prefer going on strike than using other legal means to express our grievances. So I would advise them to find other means to express their grievances. You can't be doing one thing over and over and expecting different results. Yes, sir.
Ezra Lupe, maybe before you drop the line, could you suggest such other means you think the labor can explore beyond the strike?
Yes, I think there is a court. That is court, because I think in Nigeria here, you have rights to seek redress in a court of law. As a matter of fact, some of these strikes are not directly to the people who are perpetrating this may not even have any impact. They don't have anything to lose. So if they can go to court, sue the person that is in position to solve their problem, and they may seek redress from that. Instead of going on strike, since I was born, we've been going on strike over and over, and at the end of the day, you see the same thing going on. So let us change tactics. The government is changing, so we should also change approach to seek our redress. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ezra Lupe. When you say the government is changing, are you speaking for the government here now?
No, the government has changed. It's a new administration, so they should also have indulge in new tactics to seek redress. It's not like the Buhari administration that will go on strike and this and that.
It's okay. Thank you very much. You are entitled to your thoughts, Ezra Lupe. We appreciate you all the same. Thank you. Comrade, you want to respond, but we have more people waiting on the line.
Let's take the
note these concerns. We'll respond to them. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the program. All right, Kwaza Vincent, your line seems to be breaking. Could you change your position so we can hear you better?
Yes, I've changed my location.
We can hear you better now, Kwaza.
Yes. I greet the comrade in the studio. I first of all thank Labour for all their effort they have been doing in order to keep our nation moving forward. But Labour know that strike should not be the last option. They should rather take other options, because if they go on strike now, it's us, the masses, that will suffer. And at the end of it all, 2, 3, 4 days now, they will hear that Labour has called off the strike, and nothing tangible will come out. So they should look for alternatives rather than going for the strike. Because if they go for the strike, it's us, the masses, that will suffer. All the economy will be shut down, and we will suffer for it. At the end of it, now we hear that Labour have called off their strike. And then that thing they call so that thing that happened, that they went on strike, will still be there. So they should look for other alternatives rather than going for the strike. That is my contribution.
Such alternatives like what, Vincent?
Like maybe going to the court or something like that. But that strike action will make us, the masses, suffer a lot.
All right. Thank you very much, Kwaza Vincent, for your contribution. Okay, Comrade Omaja.
Yeah.
Before we engage with more callers, let's respond to some of these concerns. We have them coming over and over, and it's almost resounding the same line of thought. So let's speak to them.
Thank you very much, my callers, and I think I appreciate your opinion and your contribution so far. But I want us to understand something. You see, Lupe and the last speaker are on the same page.
Yes.
By trying to say that Labour should devise another means of engaging government instead of using strike. Lupe and my brother, I want to let you understand that whenever Labour call for strike, it is the last alternative. You don't just come up with an issue. Maybe you have discovered that federal government, state government, or whoever you are engaging have failed in one way or the other, and they say, no, I gave you 21 days ultimatum. We don't just operate in that manner. There is what we call ILO, International Labour Organization standards. Before you embark on industrial strike, we're all aware of the consequences of strike, even on the members. Even the majority of these people are people from the private sectors, from the way they talk. But you will agree with me that if the public sector is not properly handled, the private sector will also suffer the same thing, because if I am not well paid, what is supposed to be given to me is not given to me. There's no way I'll come to patronize you. For instance, this strike we are talking about is there was an agreement between labor and organized labor, and between organized labor and the federal government. Issues were discussed several times. There were disagreement and agreement, and at the last day, they agreed that this and this and this is what we are going to do. The federal government gave organized labor a condition. You don't do this, you don't protest, you don't do this again, but we are going to make this provision, we are going to provide this. And at the end of the day, we sign an agreement. It's just like me and you entered into an agreement that, okay, you are going to cultivate this land for me, farm from here to so place. At the end of the day, I will harvest my rice and give you 3 bags of rice. That is an agreement between me and you. Me, I have done my own part by cultivating what I'm supposed to, till the land for you, turn it for you. After harvesting the rice, instead of you giving me the 3 bags that was agreed between me and you, you decided to ignore. And even when I call your attention, you said no. So if I come to that farm where we did that thing and I come and put a barricade now, until you give me my 3 bags of rice, I will not allow you to farm here. I don't see there's anything wrong with that. So the issue of strike you are talking about, not that anybody will just wake up and begin to issue ultimatum to government or anybody that say we want to embark on strike. There must be a procedure. There must be a process. And this process must be followed until there is a breach of that agreement before one will begin to talk about strike. And anytime we discuss about strike, people really don't understand why people are embarking on strike, because the general public, what they normally know is that, oh, they say they are going on strike. Okay, fine. Tomorrow, next tomorrow, they are supposed to go on indefinite strike. They call off the strike. Why are you calling off the strike? They have failed to understand the reason why somebody is going on strike. The issue is this. You must have your demand, chartered of demand. There is a demand you are putting before the person you want to protest against. And you say, these are the 4 items. If you don't meet these items, I am breaking on the strike. And the person call you to a round table. Strike is not war. Strike is not that as if everybody is going to carry gun or battle. They will call you to a round table. You see that, okay, at the end of the day, please leave this thing. Government is fond of coming out with promises. And if labor are satisfied with, even though if it is not 100%, they have that right at least to say, okay, let us call back the strike so that we can engage government properly to see how we will have a positive impact on the people you are defending at the end of the day. And I also want to tell my brothers that whether you like it or not, no matter how bad or corrupt the organized labor may look now, they are the last option to the Nigerian citizens. If you look at what happened recently, let me be frank to you, you saw what happened with the present leadership at the level, let me speak for Nigerian Labour Congress. Even at the Trade Union Congress, I've seen a lot of the activities. Ajero have actually sacrificed a lot since he took over the governance of Nigerian Labour Congress in recent times. You recall that anytime there is a declaration of industrial strike and they issue an ultimatum, a day before embarking on that strike, federal government will call you out and say, I want to have a meeting with you. Whereas you have written a lot of letters to them, calling their attention that let us sit and address this issue. This issue we are talking about is not issue that please come and arrange some money and give to labor leader to go and share. No, these are issues that affect the public, the masses. For instance, issues that have been raised, the award, wage award, the palliative, certain things that the private sectors are enjoying today. It's not because of the engagement of the organized labor and the federal government. To some extent, give kudos to this. You know, we are too quick in condemning or trying to condemn activities of people. Yes, I will agree with you that we have corrupt labor leaders. We have people who don't even know the purpose of why they are in that business. But let me be frank to you. It's not a smooth business. It's not a smooth venture. It's a place that if you really want to work as a labor leader, you should be able to dedicate your life. You should be able to do whatever you feel you should do. It's not a place to go and make money. You should have your own source of making your money. That is the truth about it. You don't use the platform of organized labor in making money. So people should throw weight and support and also understand the reason why people want to embark on strike. Not just that they say they strike. Ask questions. Why are they going on this strike? This particular one, there was an agreement between federal government and the organized labor. The federal government have not met their own part of the agreement. And you are entering into another agreement. I don't understand. So, if you want to respect the agreement that me and you are about to enter, because the committee that are being set up now, definitely they are going to come out with an agreement. And the one that me and you have before, you have not respected that agreement. So, this is an issue of, okay, come back to the table and say, okay, oh, if this issue is what you're talking about, oh, is this, that, okay, we'll address it. So as I've given that for today, there may be that likelihood that the strike may not hold. If federal government want to be sincere, they can call labor even between now and next week. Oh, what are you saying? Are you saying we have not paid? Because let me be sincere to you. The president may even feel that the palliative or whatever you are talking about might have been paid to all federal agencies and good about. By the time people begin to come out and say, no, here and here you have not done this, you have not done this, you realize, oh, is it true that this has not been done? Because people implementing government policies and programs are also part of the problem of governance in the country. Thank you.
Okay, so we hope that is made very clear why the platform is not to mobilize for strike itself, is to x-ray the issues.
Yeah.
But the labor leader here video is making us know what the demands are and what the issues are at stake and the government's commitment to addressing them. So let's get to understand the issues in proper perspective so that when we are commenting, we'll comment in that direction. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Hello.
Morning.
Morning to you. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you, sir. My name is Mr. Jairus. I'm calling from high level.
Thank you, Mr. Jairus Otomola, for joining us on the program.
Thank you. I appreciate my labor leader here in the studio. I've spoken very well, he explained very well. But it's too much of everything.
Chris,
at the end of the day, it looks like a child play. After all, they will call, they will ask for strike. And they have already planned whatever they are going to tell you, even if you go and strike. Okay, now look at the first agreement, if people agree. Now for him to meet up with that agreement and I come up with another committee so that he will call it for dialogue. After bringing that one, now implementing whatever you're going to agree there, you abandon it, set up another committee for another agreement again. So, hello?
We are with you, Jairus.
Thank you. So, what we are doing, I agree with the strike, but I don't agree with the strike. My own alternative, my suggestion alternative to strike is for each state, put a particular date, as you have now fixing a date, go on nationwide strike, put a particular date, each state will mobilize its own member right from council ward to the state level, each state of 36, and including Abuja, will go on street, march over street of this country, Nigeria. Go on street, demonstrate, peaceful demonstration, underline my word, peaceful demonstration. They let the whole world see what is happening. I think that will move the government to react to their agreement than to go on strike. After you go, yes, we suspected you that anytime you call off a strike and nothing tangible happens, we believed that you have been bribed. That is why you call off the strike. Honestly, let me open up to you. Thank God you have opened up to us. We are telling you what is we will feel within our heart. Smart and they call them, they give them some money, they will share it, then they will call off the strike. And nothing happens. So, because of that, they have known the tactics of handling you or handling us through you on a strike. Let us march on the street. Here I go. Physically, we continue to march until we bring government to their knees. That is my own alternative. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Jairus, before you drop the line, hello, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Jairus. You mentioned peaceful demonstration, right?
Yes.
But I hope it is not intended to bring government to its knees as your last words. It's just to get the government accede to what the demands of the labor are with regards to meeting the expectations of Nigerians. I think so. That is what you mean?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks for your contribution. So we are not seeing as projecting any ideas that are not contrary to the operations of our government. Yeah, so definitely. It's a peaceful demonstration to make the government accede to demands. Hello, good morning.
This is Edembaukan.
Thank you, Edembaukan.
Calling from high level. I wonder why you are so scared of government being on. We are already on our knees.
No,
So anytime
hello,
somebody puts
hello,
you
Edam,
on your knees,
Edam
so we
Baukan.
want to
Hello,
the
sir.
person should also
Hello,
isn't
sir.
it?
Hello,
We
sir.
have Adam, hello.
This is a public.
Hello?
This is a public platform, so let's be cautious of our engagement.
All this in quote,
Yes.
all said and done.
Yes.
We are. They say government of the people, for the people and by the people. So, well, coming back to the issue, the major is strike, isn't it? Comrade, I greet you. I was also a student leader in those days. And some of us went into those things. We didn't even know what we were there for. Many people knew what they were there for. They made all kinds of gains. We went in as a kind of social.
Hello. Oh, unfortunately, we lost connection with Edam Baukan. Okay, comrade, you listen to the concern. Okay, let's get back to this call briefly.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, sir. I regard to your guest in the studio,
Yes, my guest
Comrade
is
Omaje.
Comrade who?
Comrade Omaje.
Umaja. Yeah, Comrade Umaja.
Okay.
Am I correct?
Yes, you
Am
are.
I correct
You are.
or not?
You are
Yes.
correct. So,
Okay.
what's your own name, please?
Okay, my name is Vincent Ako. I'm calling from Wadata.
Okay, Vincent, I call from Wadata. Wadata in Makudi, I suppose?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Wadata in Makodi.
Okay, Vincent,
Let
please
me
go
start.
ahead.
Let me start with the issue of the CNG buses. You see, the refusal or the attention not being given to the issue of this CNG bus. It's not that the money is not there. That's a result of corruption. And then secondly, the issue of the agreement between the federal government and the organized labor on most especially on the aspect of in the aspect of the new minimum wage. It's also as a result of corruption. Now people are saying that labor will go and collect green envelope or yellow envelope or whatever. Though I'm not disputing the fact that some of them are doing that, but it's not all of them. You see what happened in Imo State, the way they arrested the chairman there and they dealt with him ruthlessly. And nothing happened. Up till now, we have not heard anything. Nobody has been arrested or anything that has been done to those people that did that to him. Why are they saying that labor is corrupt? And do you want them to go there and be killed by these our wicked politicians?
No,
They have to protect their lives too.
Vincent,
Sir?
you are taking
Yes,
us outside of our focus of discussion. For today, we are focusing on the 14-day ultimatum or strike, nationwide strike issued to the federal government by Labour.
Okay, sir.
So narrow your
Okay,
thoughts
sir.
within this so that we please.
Okay.
You have mentioned the
Okay,
CMG
sir.
buses. Could you conclude if you have other thoughts to share with us?
Let me just say the 14 days ultimatum is good. If when the time comes and they refuse to do what the labor asks them to do, let them embark on the strike. It is good. That's my own submission. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Vincent, for your contribution. We appreciate you. Thank you. All right, Comrade Omaja, these are the fears of Nigerians. Concerns from Nigerians that sometimes this strike, in the end, labor is cornered and discussed with, and they abandon the struggle midway. How do you react to this? But before your reaction, there's a call waiting here. So let's respond to it. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. My name is Joe Gundu. I'm calling from Sekombe here, Yekro, in Makudi local government.
Thank you, Joe Gundu, for joining us.
Thank you. The 14 days ultimatum given to the federal government to do the needful is well applauded. And I think the only advice I have for the labor this time around is that they should stand their ground. Because subsequently, when we think that labor is fighting for us, at a certain point, they will derail. Because we know what is happening in Nigeria and what has been happening in Nigeria. Usually, when they go on strike, the federal government will call for meetings, and shortly the strike will be called off without any tangible thing being put on the ground to avert the strike other times. So my advice to them is that they should stand their ground, because if they didn't, like one of the callers said, we believe that they do go and right there and leave totally on the ground. So that is my own opinion. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you, Joe Gundu. Thank you for your contribution. Comrade.
Yeah. You asked a very fundamental question as regards the feelings of people concerning each time an industrial action is declared, and at the end of the day, maybe the public felt that they've not achieved anything tangibly and the strike is called off, and maybe it could be attributed to either money or something have exchanged hand. Yeah, my reaction is this. I will not completely disagree with them for somebody who have made that kind of statement, because maybe they have had that kind of experience before.
I hope you understand that we are not the people making the statement from our end.
I know.
You have listened to even the
yes,
callers.
I quite agree with it.
Okay.
From the public now,
Yes.
the people who are actually calling. This is their fear.
Yes.
Some have actually expressed this fear, and some actually give kudos and try to support the intended the strike by Organised. What I want to let the public understand is that you know that even among the 12 disciples, we had Judas among them. For the fact that Judas betrayed Jesus Christ does not mean that all the disciples were Judas. So, you try to look at, if you follow the scenario or the activities of any set of organized labor, you'll be able to distinguish whenever somebody is sincere or not. But I want to tell you that majority of organized labor, the representative of labor leaders now, is purely sacrifice. Sacrifice in the sense that it got to a point that even the labor themselves don't even know which one is their friend any longer. The federal government will trick you in a way. For instance, like what happened. You will engage the federal government by writing that, drawing the attentions concerning certain issues that has to do with the public. The public. They will not respond. They will not even give you a listening ear. Until maybe when you had no choice again and it's okay. If I have approached you severally to see how we can address this issue and you have not responded, you have not made any effort to see how we can discuss, maybe the only option now is for us to declare an industrial strike, which is protest. Now, a day or two to that day that you are declaring this industrial strike, the government will call you that come. And you know you cannot say no to government, because if somebody whom you are crying that you are supposed to do this, you are supposed to do this, and you have declared a crime and you say, I want you to engage, I want to engage you, definitely you will go. Even if you are on strike, you must engage them. And you come and he tells you that, okay, this and this that you have highlighted, I have agreed. I am going to do it. And you people put an agreement. What do you expect from the labor, the leadership of that labor at that time? You have to suspend the strike. Because even your demands is not something that can be given to instantly. For instance, if I'm demanding for a review of my salary, or maybe something like hazard allowance I needed to put in my salary, and you have agreed that you are going to pay. Now that me and you are sitting on that table, can you make that payment? There are people that will implement these policies and programs. So once agreement is reached, somebody have come to your terms and say, okay, I can't do this, but I can do this. And you feel that to some certain category he has actually tried this, okay, let us suspend this and see what we can do. Then, by the time you suspend the strike, the agreement you had with government was that in the next 2 weeks or in the next 1 month, implement this. The government go back to the table and relax, because what they were scared of was the protest. What they were scared of was for you to declare an industrial actions. As soon as an agreement is reached between you and them, they will go and relax and they will not implement what you have agreed with them. Then you stay after a while for like 2, 3 months, 4 months, and nothing happened, and it's okay. Since you have not honored the agreement between me and you, I am going to down tool again. You call the public. The next time the public say, the last time you said you wanted to embark on this strike, we were with you. You went to government to suspend the strike. Now you are calling us. That is why I'm saying we should have we should be very reasonable in trying to address labor leaders the way things are going in this country. We should also be able to check actually what is on the table. What are their demands? What are you actually looking for? Then try to seek clarifications where necessary. Because this is the place we have found ourselves now. Okay, for instance, what people are, the issue of the attending protest that somebody is talking. Let me assure you that if care is not taken, maybe they will not respond until maybe 2 days or a day to the expiration of these 14 days. somebody will call for a meeting and invite them in Abuja and say, come, let us do it. And they'll still come back and say, okay, we are doing this, I do this. So labor is structured in a way that you have organs. At the end of that day, you fall back to your meeting, you have your organs, and people, you cross-fertilize your ideas, your informations, and you say, okay, you take a decision which will be of the best interest to the public. So I want to assure you that even though we have people who can betray the trust of the public just because of their personal interest, majority of labor leaders are not like that. And from what is obtainable in the society and what we are seeing right now, I'm assuring you that nobody is ready to go and take something and just to forget about it. Majority of these demands by the organized labor is for the welfare of the general masses. It's not even peculiar to the public sectors alone, because some of the feelers I'm even getting from maybe business people, like some of our callers who said by the time they do this, it will affect their business, it will affect their... A time will come that you don't even have anybody to come and buy any product from you because the money, the resources is not there. And even if the resources is there, because the resources is not sufficient enough, you will not be able to procure enough things from you that you also begin, that your business will be booming. So these are some of the challenges that even the organized labor is facing. So we need the cooperation of the general public, that each time they said we are protesting, peaceful protest, or we are going on industrial action, it's not that we're interested in down tooling. We're not that we're interested in going on strike. No labor leaders wants to go on strike. That is why we call it the last option. If you are able to meet up with some of these things that is achievable, no, we don't make requests that you cannot actually meet. It's not that we just jump from where and we say, okay, come and buy a car for everybody or come and build. That is not the demand of labor. Labor look at what you can afford, what they feel you can afford. If you are sincere, you come to the table. If you know you cannot afford it, you have the machineries, you have the people that will tell you that based on these factors, we cannot meet up with this. And we don't work from the high sky. All of us are humans and we relate together.
Okay. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Nathaniel Nongo.
Good morning to you, sir. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, it's our boy, Solomon Ankiki. I am back.
Solomon, welcome. We don't have boys at Target Radio. We have those who listen to us. Please go ahead, Solomon. Where are you reaching us from?
My regard go to the presenter in the studio.
Thank you, Solomon. Where are you reaching us from? I
don't have much about to say, but my only two opinion is, if I did if the issue of strike is like you open shop and keep me inside your shop, so we make an agreement. Neither each and every week, I'm going to collect 7,000.
Hello, Solomon. Hello. Oh, we lost connection with Solomon. Solomon, we were really interested in the analogy you wanted to draw before sharing your thoughts, but unfortunately, we lost connection with you. You try to establish back, that'll be fine. Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Good morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Jairus.
Mr. Jairus, could you make it very brief this time?
Okay, sir. Okay, I will do that. My comrade, all what you have explained to us, we understand. We agree with you. And this is another way government is making a caricature of labor. You went into agreement with him 1, 2, 3. You never meet up. Then what do you do again? That's why we're giving you 2 suggestions, 2 alternatives. My own is saying we should go on protest. They show continue to protest until they will meet up with the agreement.
Yes.
Or you go to industrial court. See, we went to this man, I wrote agreement, push on this, he refused to agree with the agreement. Second again, third time again, fourth time, up to 56 family agreement, and we continue to make. If you go make, and they refuse to meet up. So that is the way of how to of labor, the general public. That's why If God gets us playing with Nigerian intelligence, how listen to us.
Okay.
Saying,
all right.
yes, you say out of 12 that's true. There are some about
Very much. They can you
Yes, he was Comrade Jairus because he's a comrade, the way he sounds. From all his contributions have been a wonderful one. But I want to let my brother Jairus understand something. Presently, even the federal government don't respect court order. Why am I saying this? You will recall that recently when the former CBN governor Emefiele was arrested and kept in the custody of DSS, the case went to court, and the court granted Emefiele bail and instructed that Emefiele should be remanded in the correctional sector as declared by the judge. But immediately after they left the court premises, what happened? Emefiele was whisked away again by the DSS. That resulted to even a kind of infractions between the correctional center officers and the DSS. Apart from that, we had series of cases where there are judgments delivered, but the federal government, who are supposed to implement this kind of judgment, don't even honor such judgment. So what we do, you also recall that when we're about to embark on this same strike last year concerning the subsidy removal, the federal government went to court to stop labor from embarking on industrial strike. And the labor at the point retorted, and at last they went back and said, no, we have where your fundamental right stops, another person's own begins. You cannot beat somebody and you tell the person that you cannot cry. That is the angle labor come from that and say, no, you cannot tell us this is our fundamental right that after having exhausted all these other procedures, we will embark on. So I want to tell my brother Jairus today that I don't want to specifically indict another, but to some extent, even the judiciaries don't have independence to some extent. That is why the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria from time to time have actually craved for a kind of certain level of independence, even though they will tell you they have implemented it, but to a certain extent, that independence is not there to some extent. So we know at every point, for instance, if you have an industrial relation dispute between government and a kind of an industrial union, yes, you approach court. We have done that, and they have from time to time yielded a lot of results. But anything in the private sector, organized labor, what the TUC and the Nigerian Labour Congress, my brother, I bet you, there is no court order you are going. There is no court. We'll lay bare. We'll send out our flyers. We'll let people understand what is actually is on ground. So, well, no one is an island. We'll also try to see how we can harness that option too. We'll discuss that. But this is beyond our scope here, because I'm a representative and the chairman of a state. You have people. I also have a representative that represent my union at the national level.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes we send this interest to them too.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, Mr. Nathaniel, this is Solomon. I'm back.
Okay, Solomon, we are glad you called back.
Yeah. So, as I'm saying before, for example, if you put me inside your shop that I should work inside your shop, so maybe I'm still selling provision in your shop. So either you make an agreement with me like 20,000 a month or 10,000 weekly. So when I'm selling, I'm making you money and you are making use of the money. So you are not paying me if the actually time that you say that you pay what belongs to my own. Even if I know that I am possible for you to that shop and you are not responding me for what I would make an agreement, you are not respecting my agreement, definitely I will leave your shop. Then if I leave your shop, if you know that I'm use of that shop, you will still call me back. That is my only opinion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Solomon, for your contribution. All right, I think Solomon has left us with an analogy there to ponder on. We appreciate you, Solomon.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Vincent, back to me.
No, 2 minutes is too much. We give you seconds, Vincent.
Okay, that's it is good to go to court. Issues like this, guys. But the truth of the matter is that which people are in charge of the court? We all know that the federal government, sometimes the state government, are in charge of the court, so they can still manipulate the whole stuff.
All right.
And the issue, it's not that it's not. They have
For your opinion, we appreciate it. Take before this one was then 5.7% in 2015. 29, it became 7.4 rate 150 to 200 to $1. It was 900 yet we had massive protests, labor union strikes, ASU strike, and etc. We all condemned it and later removed Jonathan and brought in Buhari. Inflation rose to 15.7%. Fuel pump price to 2. If to strike, did hope and is solid or 1.8 to 1 liter. Nobody can go to farm anymore, and we fold our arms waiting as mills. We can't even move without our flag. We can't thing now is to take where a few 200 used to. It's all about it, right? And that experience appreciate of an same way. Go as it is Isaac to our local for that message. Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Hello, presenter. Again.
Good morning to you, sir. Welcome.
Sir. support Congress trade union may be to go a strike. So, as it is, that is so but leader then why all along restlessly become upright, still planning to also buy this one share and that helps for us the of citizens. Thank you
very much, Mr. Mohammed, for your thought. Okay, fast spent this edition program. We try to draw our curtains here, but I am back. Tonight, I did sound strongly, and even this impact upon it is the poor masses that will still suffer it. So, looking at the feeling, the general impression, is there anything the organized can this?
Yeah. Thank you. To say that when you have headache, sometimes you take Panadol, sometimes you take paracetamol. They all have a way of reducing the stress or whatever you have when you are experiencing headache. For now, you know that Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress does not work in isolation. There's what we call International Labour Organizations, which is ILO. Apart from what is obtainable in Nigeria, at the level of West African country, ECA, you will meet. We have NECA, you have all those things, and then to the worldwide. Whatever you are seeing here, whatever were the procedures, the processes we are using in engaging government or whoever that the case may be, it's a standard process. So, we will actually maybe carry out a survey or a study to see if we can have an alternative. For now, the only option we have, and not that the strike is the first option, it's our last option. And it has been there right from time immemorial. So what we do when we say strike in most cases may have different definitions. Sometimes if I want to strike, some strikes comes with protest. Some strikes are associated to sit at home. Some strikes goes with picketing. So we have different forms of industrial when we want to down tool. So for now, we will carry out a kind of a study if we can have an alternative to strike action. But I have enumerated whatever that is practiced in Nigeria today is a world standard.
But the one you have issued nation or strike. Already saying
the truth is that somebody says something one day that if you don't speak the truth, you will die. If you speak the truth, you will die. So it's better to speak the truth and die, not to speak the truth and still die. Now, if we protest and the poor masses suffers for like 1 week, 2 days or something, and at the end of the day there is a succor, Is it not better to suffer, to sacrifice part of your days in this suffering, to have something at the end of the day, than to remain in this perpetual bondage that we are now? Let me be frank to you. Let me be very honest to you. Apart from those that are godly minded or those that are sincere, the only language that the political class understands, or the people in governance who are not sincere to the people they are leading, is when there is strike and there's protest, peaceful protest. Because the world will see, the world will hear that this is what is happening in your domain, in your place. So what we are saying is that, yes, I actually feel the pain of our brothers who, in the course of this strike actions, will suffer one thing or the other. But the truth is still there, that you will have to sacrifice few of these days so that at the end of the day, we'll be able to address this issue, because the problem is enormous.
Okay, let's conclude at the level for instance, and it's public domain that since the work regular payment, which we understand the government is backlog, is happening from your state of the good council into what is happening.
Thank you very much for that question. I want to start by answering your questions that we appreciate the present government for what he has done to the workers of Benue State in terms of payment of salary on regular basis. At least now a Benue worker can beat his or her chest that on so day I'll be able to pay my bills, no matter how meager the salary is. That is that. And we are also enjoying other infrastructural projects by the present administration. That is another kudos to them. Things we never seen in recent times. But the idea of the backlog of salary is a very serious issue on the part of the Benue workers. Yes, and I also want to agree that while the present governor got his election was because the masses felt that they were being owed a lot of salaries and they have a messiah. And the promises then was that they are going to clear the backlog of salaries, which we know that we are pleading. That is just the idea, because majority of the things he has done, not that Labour have actually engaged them and say you must do this. He did that willingly. Even the payment of pensions and gratuities that have been paid to people who are retiring presently is enormous. But the Benue worker can never be okay until that backlog of salaries is cleared, because as I speak to you, those salaries that are in arrears have long been used because some people have collected facilities from different places and have mortgaged that particular salary that is in arrears. So payment of that arrears will go a long way in, at least to some extent, reduce the suffering of the workers of Benue State. It's a plea, and we are making frank effort to see how we can engage the government to draw their attention. And we are using this platform also to say that we key into his administrations and whatever he's doing, but not until the idea of that arrears is cleared. I assure you that Benue workers are not having it easy. If that arrears is not cleared, it's a very serious issue that is bothering the workers right now too.
But have the Labour made an engagement with the government requesting for this? And what has been the response?
And that is why I have just told you that we have communicated, and we are in the process.
Okay. Where on today's nationwide strike ultimatum issued by the organization, appreciate sincerely Chairman, Joint Public Service Negotiating One program. Comrade, to you find on this.
Yeah. anytime you call on us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Without even extra commitment from you that when next we invite yourself. We are grateful to your listeners. Come on. Yeah. Well, thank you. We are see come your way the issue. I hope I sign on today. Let you to be also in of meeting they made organized agreement with the all benefit during a good feel of life given the current economic realities. I'll come your way again next week. This week, Wednesday, with another edition of Perspectives. Until then, my name is Nathaniel Nongo. Do have yourself a great week. Goodbye and bye-bye.